Hello, my name is Bonnie Janicki, and I'm a Senior Grants Officer at the Corporation for National and Community Service. Today, I'm going to talk to you briefly about the Federal Financial Report. During this brief talk, I'm going to answer 4 basic questions. What is the Federal Financial Report? How will you submit this report? What new information will be collected, and what has been removed from this report? And what is the Corporation's implementation plan? After I answer these questions, I will then briefly walk you through the eGrant screens for entering the Federal Financial Report, and finally tell you where you can find our posted frequently asked questions. This FAQ includes all information that I will cover today with you. With that said, let's begin. What is the Federal Financial Report? The Federal Financial Report, also known as the FFR, issued by the Office of Management and Budget, also known as OMB, is a consolidated federal cash and federal expenditure report. It is replacing the financial status report that you submit to us and the federal cash transaction report that you submit to the payment management system. It also creates a government-wide standard for reporting periods and due dates. All reports, be it annual, semi-annual, quarterly, or final, will have a reporting period and date that falls at the end of a calendar quarter, and reports will be due 30 days after the reporting period has ended. Federal agencies will have the option to specify which data elements from the FFR they want to require, but may not collect more than what appears on the form. Okay, on to the second question. How will you submit the FFR? In accordance with guidance from OMB, the Corporation will continue to have you submit your expenditure data via eGrants and your cash transaction data via the payment management system. Although the actual FFR report will not look the same as the FSR, the Corporation has tried to keep the design of the FFR screens as close to the financial status report screens as possible. You will access the FFR in eGrants the same way you access the financial status report. eGrants will continue to display the previously entered amounts and continue to calculate totals and percentages. Now for the meat of the FFR information. What new information will be collected and what has been removed from the FFR? There are 8 items of interest that I will go over with you right now. First, the final checkbox has been replaced with a drop-down report type menu where you will select annual, semi-annual, quarterly, or final FFR. Second, the total recipient share required is a new field and will auto-calculate based on the overall match percentage in the approved budget. Third, another new field is the remaining recipient share to be provided, which is simply a calculation based on the difference between total recipient share required and the recipient share of expenditures. Fourth, the recipient share of unliquidated obligations field has been removed. Fifth, for AmeriCorps grantees, the split between operating costs and member costs in both the federal and recipient share, and for Senior Corps grantees, the split between support costs and volunteer costs have been removed. Now the exciting field, and 6th point, we have added an excess program income field. You will only enter data here if you have earned program income in excess of what you have reported in the recipient share of the expenditure section. Let me stress this again. This field is only for excess income that is not captured in the recipient share of expenditures. The 7th, we have eliminated the need for you to complete the indirect expense section. Also, if you are a Senior Corps grantee, you will no longer report volunteer data and foster grandparent and Senior Corps non-stipend and retired senior volunteers with foster grandparents and Senior Corps type service on the FFR. These fields have been moved to the Senior Corps Progress Report. And finally, the 8th point is that we have increased the space available to add comments in the remarks field and encourage you to use the space as necessary. Now for the final question to cover. What is the Corporation's implementation plan? Grantees with financial reports with reporting periods that end on 12/31/08 and all subsequent reporting periods must submit financial data in eGrants using the FFR. As it is now, the Corporation does not require sub-grantees to submit a financial report to us, but our direct recipients are required to have accurate and timely sub-grantee data to complete their financial report. If you need a copy of the electronic version of the FFR for either you or your sub-grantees, you can find it at our Resource Center or at OMB's website. The new FFR screens will be available in eGrants for you to begin entering your data after the 5th of January. Also, you will continue to submit your cash transaction report the same as always. The payment management system plans on implementing their new form by October 1st, 2009. Should you have any questions, please contact your grants officer. We will spend our last few minutes briefly walking through the data entry of the FFR. Like always, you will open eGrants and go to the Reporting to CNCS section on the homepage. Click on the Financial Report link. Find the report you're going to work with and click Edit. We are now moving to the General Information tab. All of the data on the General Information tab in the beginning is the same as before. In the Report Type field from this drop-down menu, you will now select your report type. For most of our grantees, you will select Semi-Annual. Then you complete the rest of the general information like always. Then save and click Next. We are now, like always, on the Transaction tab. As I mentioned before, you will see here for AmeriCorps and Senior Corps grantees that the federal and recipient share are no longer broken out between operating/support cost and volunteer/member cost. If you need to make an adjustment to your previously reported amount on the federal share, you should do it here. Otherwise, just leave that amount alone. Then enter the amount of federal funds expended for this period here. If you have any unliquidated obligations, you will enter it here. Next, you will want to complete the recipient share. And now we're on to the excess program income field. Like I stressed before, and as it is stated in the instructions, enter only excess program income here. This should only be amounts not already recorded in the recipient share of this report. Then, if you have expended any of your excess program income, depending on the terms and conditions of your award, you will put the expended amount in the deductive or additive line. Here you will see that we've repositioned your expenditure analysis information. Not only is it available for your use, but also is a part of what your grants officer uses during their FFR review as well. Then click Save and Next. We are now at the end of the FFR. In the Remarks field, we have expanded the space to make any of the comments you need or want the grants officers aware of related to this report. Please don't hesitate to use this field. Finally, you will certify and submit as you always have. Now remember, the actual report for the FFR does look very different from the financial status report. But, as I've shown you, the data required to populate this report has really not changed significantly. If you have any questions, you should contact your grants officer. Information on who and how to contact your grants officer can be found on the bottom of your most recent Notice of Grant Award. So in addition to this webinar, we'll put together an FAQ that can be found in our Resource Center, and you can download it right here. Also, in early January, we will release a more comprehensive webinar where we will walk you through each field of the FFR. Thank you so much for your time, and remember to always submit your report on or before the due date.